Welcome everybody to your girl Deb Chanel 48's World, coming to you today with today's review on K Michelle My Life Season 2, Episode 6. Excuse me, Episode 6, and Conquering the Bear. The first clip, we're gonna go right on into it. Excuse me. Whew. K Michelle and Jonathan are at this local bar, I'm guessing. And it's kind of like some coyote something. Some movie Tyra Banks had starting some years ago, probably in the 80s, late 80s. But it was some kind of bar, a women's bar that were serving men, and I think there was a female owner of this particular bar. I think it was called Coyotes or something like that. But anyway, these were these gay gentlemen dancing up on the bar where you would be having your drink served to you but they were actually dancing up on the bar and da 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 da. I don't know if they were line dancing or whatever, but it was a cute little scene. But Jonathan had his eye on one of the men, so they were just like dazzled, or they're in awe, or just very excited seeing these men up there, shaking their booties and um, stomping and dancing how they do in line type dancing in the Western cowboy type saloons or bars. And they were all into it. Kay's has taken a direction for looking at Caucasian men now. She's left her African American black men alone, and she's trying to venture into another whole race, which, hey, I'm there for it. You want to do it, flip it, it floats your boat, go ahead and get it, girl. But they're there and they're just having a good time, having drinks, watching the men, do their little thing, and then they're back. The men finish on stage and they get down from on top of the bar and go back to serving, the people in the restaurant, or maybe they're getting ready for their next set, but they're just taking a little 20-minute break or whatever. And K Michelle's just kicking it with Jonathan at another table, and she was like, they were cute, and they were this, that, and that. And she's talking about the men that just had gotten off the bar from dancing. But then Kay was talking to Jonathan about her dates she had been on with the prince, and just a lot of things that didn't quite make sense with him, just to kind of poke his, inquisitiveness or curiosity as well, to see basically what she was thinking was on the right track, or was she just being too critical of her newfound love interest. And Jonathan was like, well, we can check them out, we can do things, because things not really, you know his spider senses or whatever weren't necessarily chiming in or chiming with what he was getting from the guy as well. So his spider senses were like everywhere, and he's like, but it's okay, I'm gonna keep an eye on him. We ain't gonna let him take you for filth, or drag you for filth, and you know take your money or take your time, waste your time. We ain't gonna have him do all that. So I got my eye. We're here. I got my eye on him. So I'm like, everybody should have a friend like Jonathan that actually where you going? I know where you going. Okay, you can leave me one. You want what? A cookie. I'm trying to get a cookie for my daughter, y'all. I'm trying to do a review. I'm messed up today, right? I'm pretty messed up. But anyway, Jonathan was like, we got you, baby. We got you. We here for you. And like I said, everybody should have a special friend like Jonathan, to always have their back, looking at little things or people in their circle that are not necessarily there to be a good friend, but try to elevate on K Michelle's abilities and her revenues that she's acquired for herself through a lot of hard work and dedication. And he's like, you know she's my source of income too, and I want her to still flourish, want her to still be making her coins, and I want her to be happy. And I ain't finna let nobody, not even a family member, come in here and disrupt what we got going on. I was there for you, brother. I was there for you. I'm like, Because if she messed up, you gonna be messed up too. But anyway, moving on from that little scene, the second clip comes where um, the groomer's name that had her dogs was named David, and he bought the little babies back. Kay had mentioned to her viewers that she had sent her two puppies off to get potty trained and house broken in trained and this, that, and the other. Which it was kind of weird to me because I'm like, wait a minute, Kay, you don't necessarily have to send them off. I know you think they're your children because even my puppy as well as my daughter's puppy, I think they're my children too. I treat them like children pretty much. And I was like, wait a minute, Kay. But you don't have to send your children out like she sent them out to a dog boarding school or something. I was like, girl, you got too much money or too much time on your hands. But anyway, David was bringing her puppies back, and he was telling her on the ins and the outs of what they learned and this, that, and the other, and how she needs to do the same thing at home when she's gonna have to get up with them. Like, golly, yeah, like them, you birthed them puppies. But anyway, and I kind of like David is just full, blowing her up with a lot of air because them dogs ain't bit more trained. Cause it's like when he got in that door, they sprinted right to her. Dogs remember where they once were, and like I said, she probably loved on them, and they were missing their mama. And it's just like kids coming home from a summer camp, or I mean, coming home from being out in an outing or whatever, and they were missing you. And when they see you, they just gotta, come and give you all the loves and hugs and kisses they can possibly get. So I was there for that scene. Very warming and heartfelt. So whoever directed that you tugged at my heartstrings. Oh yes, you did. Okay now. But anyway, Kay was like, okay, what did you teach my babies? What they do? Come on, show me what you got. What we're working with. Child, he told the dog to go, or he told her tell the dog to go to their bed or whatever. Now, of course, if you lead a dog to their bed, even though they have on their little strap or whatever, of course they're going to do that. That's natural because they're back in their normal habitat where they once were and spent a lot of time. So they're just getting familiar back to what they already know, you know. And then it was like he said, well, he did something else, and dog just looked like he went the other way. Like, man, go on somewhere. We just put up with you because we had to, but now we back at home with mama. You just need to be gone. I was like, that man just took her money. He ain't trained them dog for 2 cents, and it's just is what it is. And even Kay was like, this man done took my money. They ain't trained. They just as wild as when I had him to come pick them up. Whether they spent a week with him or 2 weeks. Honey, please, that was just a vacation from them pooping and messing around the house, peeing and everything, and getting on your nerves, because they ain't learned nothing. Because pretty much in another scene, as it was going off, Kay was trying to figure out where the puppies had went because they were out of filming view or whatever. And then when she found them, I don't know which one did the damage. Maybe she, with her hollering, carrying on, they probably had the other one, you know, scared, and they ran away from in another whole area. But she caught one of them. They were peeing probably on her white carpet or her white sofa or whatever. I call it the white room. But honey, she was hollering. I'm like, honey, get your money back. Get a refund. Get a refund. Get a refund. But that was a cute scene too. Oh yeah. So we move on to K Michelle, and her friends are in the studio. And Kay is telling her friends that, yeah, I'm still dating the prince and this, that, and the other. And, we're doing real well. But he's coming by, and I don't want y'all to be, treating him any kind of way or indifferent that y'all wouldn't treat a normal, person of color or anybody else that she's brought around now. Just treat him, a little bit nicer because he is from royalty and this, that, and the third. So they're like, whatever, we gonna size him up like we size everybody else. He just gotta get in where he fit in. All they talking all that kind of stuff. And she was just like, what? I was like, okay. So not sooner than she had, that her friends knew in the studio that he was coming, he ended up knocking at the door. He acted like a pretty gentleman. He brought her flowers, and he probably arrived around the time that she was expecting him to come, and that was kudos to him. And then he bought her, seemed like some eatery stuff, but he had made her drinks or a particular drink and cut up the cucumbers or something that maybe went into the drink he was making for her. And I want to say he had a ready-made sandwich for her, like a roll, what do you call it? A roly-poly wrap or something, some kind of veggie wrap, or I don't know, because it didn't see her partaking in any of that. So can't really say what he bought, but I want to say he pretty much brought her wine, flowers, and something light to eat. But like I said, I didn't get a chance to see, or they didn't show it for filming purposes, what he may have brought her to eat. But he was just saying, he enjoyed, coming out to see her. He enjoyed her little studio friends, and he even got up doing a little booty dance with her, where she was like backing up on him, and he was, wanting to feel everything she had to give him to kind of touch on. So it's pretty much safe to say that she didn't have sex with him, and maybe anticipating having sex with him, but they, to me, in my perspective, I don't think she had relations with him yet. So he was telling her that he was going to be going away for 10 days, and that he wanted her to act respectful, and don't be doing no things that while he's away, she shouldn't be acting like she's single and this, that, and the other. That's how I took it, or that was my perspective on it. I'm like, damn, when did they become a couple? Because she was hollering too in her confessionals that she usually be done got a bag or shoes, a ring, some type of jewelry, for him to be claiming and making marks on. She should behave herself, meaning she definitely should not be entertaining any men company, and she should sit still till he come back. You know, stop it. And that was pretty much it on that particular take. But let's see, can I do this? Anyway, she called herself like kind of. She really was taken back, like who is this joker think he can tell me what to do? I don't remember us saying we were being exclusive towards each other. That this was a monogamous relationship, or even that it was a relationship. But she's still tripping off on the fact that just our perspectives of royalty, when you come in contact with one, they're pretty, they have the accent like he have. They're pretty much standoffish type people. They have their own entourage, and they have castles, not mediocre homes, castles, mansion. Because she even talked about that on the first date that they had, where she was going over there and he was going to make her some chicken and all her favorite dishes. One particular night that she went over to have a quiet evening with him and get to know each other a little better. And the address that she showed us, just like, my house is better than this, and I know I ain't from royalty, and this, then, and I like, oh Lord, she already, evaluating the man for potential marriedhood. But I was like, K, get a grip, get a grip. But and even in that other previous episode, she was basically, well, he was pretty much like he want to introduce her to the family and this and that. And I'm like, Kay, like, you move too fast for me. Hold up, pump the brakes, turn off the car, and let's chill. You know what I'm saying? Because you threw her for a loop. Because, like I said, she really wasn't feeling you, because she still had some unanswered questions and a lot of, gut wrenching type feelings that she knew something wasn't quite right with your status. So, from what she could see and hear, from her being around some of the same people that y'all may fall in the same circle of folks. So, she already got, the investigator Jonathan on the payroll. So that's one of his other jobs. So she knew that in the back of her mind, he was getting checked out, and she was either gonna have to play the game, play the role, or she's gonna pull up stops. So we were yet to basically see that part yet, because we were still going through the whole thing of, him making so many demands, and they haven't even come to agreement that they wanted to be in a relationship with each other. So he had pretty much had really overstepped his boundaries, and when he didn't bring her no type of parting gifts for him to be gone 2 weeks from her, she went ahead and then he was talking about time. So anyway, during the time that David had brought the puppies back to Kay, she had uh, questioned him about becoming a trainer, because she knew, and that's good. She know that everything has an expiration date. That her career wasn't going to be something that she's going to be able to sustain for longer periods of, longer periods of time, as in we're talking about years after years of years, because everybody has their time in the industry, and once they've made and done pretty much everything that they could possibly do with the genre of music um, capabilities, they tend to want to get into something else, and sometimes it's entirely new, and it may be sense of having it more so as a career out of the industry, as far as music and acting and all of that, but just something like a normal profession that anybody would seek to acquire. So she wanted to call herself be an animal trainer. Child, like, what has K Michelle been smoking? Or has she been getting proper rest? Because I'm like, what? What are you talking about, child? I am a trainer of all fields. And at first I thought, well, maybe she wanted to be a veterinarian, is what she was going on with this. But no, she said trainer, child. I was like, oh, Lord. So anyway, somebody hooked her up, or it might have been David, hooked her up with a name or two, and they got with this agency and who have exotic type animals that actually do performances, like in circuses or private viewings or who knows. But Kay went out to where they were keeping the animals, and she was going to be working with this particular animal bear called Tag. And so, she got there and she's all hyped and everything, and she wanted to work with her baby Tag, and because she had heard so much about him, saw pictures and this, that, and the fourth. Hunt Ted got out that cage for Kay, Jonathan, and P. London, because P. London and Jonathan, they accompanied her on that particular outing or that trip. And they were like, girl, you crazy. I'm finna go. She's like, I don't want to die this way. I ain't anticipated me going out this world with a big old bear gnawing at me and trying to digest me. No, ma'am. So they pretty much like kind of really got out of camera sight. And Kay looked like she had saw a ghost, child. And she was like, I don't bit off two more than I could chew. I know I need to face my fears, but I don't think I can't do it. I can't do it. But anyway, the two trainers were basically telling her to calm down, get her bearings about herself, and just listen to their instructions. And a couple of times, she messed up. But about the third or fourth time, she kind of got a hang of it, and she was following all the different positions and commands that they had told her she needed to be able to work with this particular animal Tag. So anyway, she got him to take food from her. She got him to stand, be in an upright position where he's standing on his feet, and like being prostrated like a human standing up. And she was having her little fun with him and all that. And anyway, she had faced her fears, and I know she did mess up one time when they were trying to tell her, and she had turned her back on the animal, and it looked like Tad wanted to charge her. But the animal trainer had said real loudly, don't ever turn your back on an animal. And we pretty much seen it in wildlife, how animals come up very fast behind you, and then they're right at you, and they could have really did some harm. Since he was let out of his cage, and we've seen a lot of circus acts when they're trainers, they go crazily wrong, crazy wrong. But it didn't happen in that incident, and I'm glad it didn't. But Kay was something else. That girl is fearless, fearless. But you know, It is what it is. But she had a good time. Everything worked out well, and they moved on. And like I said, she had faced her fears. So we got back to the latter part of the scene because it is 30 minutes. And we were at a restaurant. I think it was called Page 71 Bar and Restaurant, or, I could be wrong. I kind of glanced at it real fast. And Jonathan P. London and K. Michelle are there having drinks. And of course, Super Snoop on the job. Let it loop on out. Let it go, boy. Let it go. Jonathan was on point and on task. He had already got all the information on this little man. And he was like, he was ready to just go on and bust up his bubble. And, but then again, he not only need to um bust up that man's bubble, which he did, how Justin J says, smoothly and professionally. Got him together and just like, I can't take you anymore. You're disgusting. You disgust me, and all that. But he also need to pay his friend, what was his name? Shaman, or the gentleman that had the little art gallery party that they actually had set K Michelle up with, due to Jonathan's request, of course. So I guess he did have to straighten things out since he had put Kay in that predicament anyway, because she really didn't even want to go to the party that he was talking about in the last segment that had we had discussed last week. So yeah, he had to do his due diligence and straighten out that bad, erroneous error that he had made. But he still need to go back to his friend and get him together because that was a hot mess. But anyway, Han and Jonathan pulled up everything. He was confronting Prince Mac of Germany and this and that, just trying to just poke fun at him at first. But then he tended to have gotten a little serious and told him, "Well, look at him. Let me tell you what I'm after. And I want to be fair for you to just go on and tell me what you feel about the situation prior to me exposing you. So I'm going to give you the opportunity to tell everything right now about this whole Prince deal. Do you really come from royalty, or are you just a royal mess?" Pretty much. And I'm like, "Oh, Lord, okay, go in and let have Jonathan. Go in and let have her." So again, either the prince was dumb, stupid, didn't catch on to what he was saying, or whatnot. But Jonathan said, "Okay, I'm not playing any more games with you. Let me just tell you what I got on you, and then you could see or tell me what you feel afterwards." But see, I gave you a chance to give your side, but you didn't. So now I'm finna go in and let happen. I don't give a shit what you talking about after that. So, and he pretty much played it just like that. He went on and said he had found out that Prince Mac from Germany, he was a con artist pretty much, and he worked real hard for his money. But of course, when you have so many different jobs, you're gonna have some money, okay? And he just said pretty much that this actor, who he pretty much is, he's not a prince. From what Jonathan found out, he said you're just trying to use K as a come up. Over in the UK, he's on 34 different shows over there. I don't know if they're reality shows or they're self-made home shows, um, similar like QVC or H Home Shopping Network, HSN, network affiliation, something to that. But he sells a lot of things online and on TV. Honey, he sells jewelry. He does infomercials. So I'm guessing he's like a reality star over there as well for the UK. He's very well known over in that circle. He's a singer, he's an actor, he's a dancer. Girl, he even sells underwear. And I was like, wait a minute, wait a minute. Oh Lord, her due of royalty has become a dud with no relevancy. The man is just a hustler, pretty much. And, he was going to tell them that, he's a designer. He designs his own clothing wear. But, I'm like, man, please. He probably sell underwear out of a box, pretty much. But like I said, everyone should have a friend like Jonathan because he really, you know, corrected his mistake by even having K Michelle being introduced to this man. Because if he really liked her, or he found to have when he spent quality time with her, he should have just told her out front, "Look, I'm really not a prince. Um, I am a prince, but it's more of actorship. I play the roles of prince, but I'm not actually from royalty. Queen of England don't know me. I'm not a part of that party. But anyway, I guess how he was saying was that pretty much he didn't feel he needed to share all that information with Kay because they weren't in a total committed relationship. But on the other hand, he was telling Kay not to mess around while he was gonna be gone for 2 weeks to straighten out his little infomercials or whatever he had to do over in the UK. But so I'm like, he was just a hot mess. Just pretty much you don't got figured out. Now you're trying to say you didn't want to give all of yourself to Kay when she was pretty much giving you all of her life, and putting you around her friends or her contacts. And you pretty much, like Jonathan said, being a user. Having Kay Michelle be a come up for you to introduce you to more affluent type people who are solidified in their chosen fields and whatnot, and making pretty big coins from it. So it was just a disgrace, and we don't need to spend any more time talking about him. But Kate Michelle had real class about herself. She didn't hoop holler. She didn't do anything. It's just like, okay, thank you, Jonathan. Thank you, P. London. But I think I can handle it from here. Y'all gonna wait for me now because it ain't gonna be long. So they excused themselves as politely as they possibly could. And I mean, after that, we didn't see them in the filming parts. I think she gave him all of 60 seconds, which is a minute, child, to say, hello, nice knowing you, but goodbye. She got up from that table, tossed up her deuces, but it was the hand, like the backhand, like, see you later. Not just left him hanging with probably the bill, which would have been a good thing. But like I said, I don't know. I'm just assuming that part. But she ain't had nothing to say. It was nothing to say. You had just got busted out on some lies, and the house he probably was letting her come visit him at was probably somebody he knew, a friend of a friend, and that was just used for taping purposes. And it was a hot mess, hot mess, hot mess. But like I said, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed looking at her show. Very interesting. Each segment that they let us partake in view, so that we can do our reviews. It was an interesting episode. Again, that was K Michelle My Life Season 2, Episode 6, Conquering the Bear. And she had two bears to deal with. One who actually is a bear by nature, and then the fraud fake prince acting like a terrible bear that she had to put to sleep. Okay? No pun intended. But anyway, that was it. I enjoyed reviewing it. I'll see you all next week for episode 7. Okay? Y'all be blessed, stay vigilant, and always be nice and encourage one another. Love you all. Bye.